All right, if you just joined us, it's still Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV now to our main conversation for today. The Central Bank of Nigeria has disclosed that at least 1,500 of its staff members would be resuming in the Lagos office on Friday. Amid a wave of controversy and mixed reactions, the CBN is forging ahead with its plans, and the affected employees are expected to resume work by February 2, 2024. According to the CBN, the action was warranted by operational necessities and safety standards. Quote, "This is to notify all staff members at the CBN head office that we have initiated a decongestion action plan designed to optimize the operational environment of the bank," it added. This initiative aimed to ensure compliance with building safety standards and enhance the efficient utilization of our office space, end quote. According to Yemi Cardoso, the CBN governor identified departments for relocation to include banking supervision, other financial institutions supervision, consumer protection, payment system management, and financial policy regulations. It will be recalled that northern groups and their elite recently condemned the relocation of the department move as a calculated attempt to disadvantage the North. And still in the studios with me to do justice to our topic for today is Mr. Cyril Abaku. He is still a communicator and a public affairs analyst. Thank you so very much for still hanging on with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Cyril, I'd love to start by giving you a quote by Andy Stanley that says, "Leaders who don't listen will eventually be surrounded by people who have nothing to say." I made that quote, from the stance of the president when he said the subsidy is gone during his inauguration, and at the same time he floated the naira. I want to believe that he had policy makers who advised him, and maybe his willingness not to listen to them or abide with what they are saying might have resulted to the conundrum that we have currently in our economy in Nigeria. This time again, he is shifting or relocating or allowed the relocation of agencies like CBN and FAN to Lagos. So do you still think that this is routed on the premise of the president not listening to good advice? Do you think so?
It may not be.
Okay.
It may not be. In Nigeria, one thing we've come to learn, we've come to observe, 64 years of history has taught us this, that a lot of times, before leaders make pronouncements, ideally, and this is practically in the Nigerian sense, they would have touched base with their political constituency for buy-in. Now, your interest.
Sorry, when you talk about their political constituency, are you speaking about the people or a caucus?
A cabal.
A cabal.
Yes, the cabal. Those who have the means, the resources, the wherewithal to tumble or to rock the boat for them.
Or to make good.
Either to make good or make bad. So they would have touched base with them. So for example, in this case, you saw that financial analysts and experts didn't take the lead in the conversation. Not that they were not speaking, they were speaking. But the people whose voices we had the loudest were politicians.
So
Senator Ali Ndume, we had Arawa, for example. Northerners were the ones who are vociferously speaking against. It means that even to take monetary decisions, to take administrative decisions, to take decisions for efficiency and so on, if you're not careful, it can hurt you very, very politically. So your political constituency is the most important constituency to take care of. And that's why I said that the president, ideally, a Nigerian president would have settled the politics of the matter before coming out to make.
Exactly.
Now, those who felt, who didn't take it kindly going down, the likes of Ndume and Co, Arewa and so on, we need to ask ourselves very, very clearly, to what extent can they provide a consequence for Mr. President?
Okay.
Now, the Northern Governors Forum didn't say a word. about what happened.
Does that mean that what they intend to say is still frozen?
No.
It's still hibernating?
No, that arguably could even mean everything.
So help us make sense of it.
In Nigeria, it is governors. How else are you going to hurt the president or give him consequence, if not to deny him of re-election or impeach him?
Okay.
Impeachment is out of the picture. So it's governors that deliver elections. The governors normally control senators, control everything.
Definitely.
Now, if the governors have been quiet, they are the ones who can either rock the boat for the president or not rock it for the president. The fact that they are quiet and knowing what we know, that most of them are the president's friends. You saw how the Supreme Court ruled in the last election petition case against the governors. Nasarawa went to thank the president for, well, I don't know, thanked him after Supreme Court gave ruling. The governor of Kano, Kwamaso, who is the governor of the governor, went to thank the president. Am I correct?
Yeah, very true.
A lot of those, Bukeva's, all of the northern governors were party.
Yes. Plateau State 2 and so on and so forth.
Is it that it's an IOU? Is it that it's some kind of, Mr. President, we see what you've done for us. We to go. What we shall do for you.
Okay.
If that is the case, it means that the discussion about CBN and no CBN is on another level. There's nothing Dume can do. And if he's not careful, his own political career could also be at stake in Borno State.
But you will agree with me in the political terrain of Nigeria, just that you can't trust anyone. People can be for you today. You might think they are for you, but at the end of the day, you will discover that they aren't for you. So, do you think?
If I even recall well, you know that in the party primaries, the presidential election comes first.
True.
So, if the governors would have debated for the president to win the party ticket, then they will now organize state governorship primaries, not the other way around. Because the governor gave the president sat back and the governor got the tickets first. They can rock the vote for him. These are very loyal men. That's where the real loyalty.
So you really trust their loyalty.
What the president has done is very simple. Ndume is not a works at the CBN. All right. Now, what the president has done is very simple. And what happens as president in Nigeria? Whatever when he came to say subsidy is gone, they didn't reverse it. It did not. In Nigeria, what they always do is this. When you want to do this, people shout and say no. In the end, after 2 weeks, it dies and government does what it wants to do. He has done the same thing here. We're going to shift CBN. No. And what happened in the end? The policy is going on. If the this president is a politician.
But that obviously is no magic wand to the consequences of it. Because it's important that we look at the consequences of some of these things. Yes, we agree that. Yes, please.
If the president truly believes that this policy will rock the boat for him, believe me, he wouldn't dare it. But he knows that the matter is a fait accompli. That's why he can boldly and gladly, I can tell you. I mean, who was talking about it now?
Are you sure this is not about the issue of a soothsayer telling you that something is good, while at the end of the day it becomes bad? Don't you think that is possibly what is shrouded around this whole issue? Someone is giving the president the grace to feel that all is well.
Well, I'm happy. No. The president didn't tell me all was well. I'm the one reading into the picture.
Okay.
But I'm happy that you said soothsayer say that all is well, and later they say all is not well. I'm glad I'm not a soothsayer. I'm also happy that the soothsayer didn't tell what I'm saying. I'm glad that there's no soothsayer in the picture whatsoever. Okay. I am reading what is clear politics. What the consultants call raw politics. Okay. What is purely politics and how I read the situation. I can tell you, President Tinubu is not a war person. He is Jojo. The president would rather have everybody come together under the APC than for you to be apart. I won't be surprised if the NNPP in Kano, the governor of NNPP, switched parties and came back to APC. And I foresee that in 2023, Konkaso will become a minister. There's a great possibility of that happening. So you see, this politics, the way it's going. So I meant to say 2027, Konkaso could become a minister. So because this politics is not always a straight line. It's a game of very deep and intricate dynamics, if you like. The president, I believe in our president, not in terms of policy, but when it comes to politics, I know that if you watch and observe him, he is not he combines Okocha, Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Pele, he combines all of them together as a politician.
All right,
he can deliver anywhere.
Fine. So let's assume he is the whiz-kid of politics in Nigeria and Africa. That, of course, does not rob off the fact and the consequences that comes with his not so good policies and actions, just like what we are observing today. Now, you would agree with me that Nigeria is very divided along tribal, religious, ethnic lines. And what that means is if you take away, let's assume, the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, okay, that name, it's being given to a university in the southeast of Nigeria. You would agree with me that if a president comes up to say, oh, no, the University of Nigeria as a name shouldn't be in Nsukka, it should be in Abuja, yes, because it is the center. Yes. We understand the consequences that would come with that. Now, isn't it okay for a good leader to understand that, come on, let's let the sleeping dog lie. It is the University of Nigeria, it is situated in Nigeria. Let's allow it be where it is so we can concentrate on the most important thing. So when we all give this grandeur position to the president as a whiz-kid of politics, don't you think he is missing some link that is very important?
Let me say this. Just, again, your example of the Nsukka is science of college, so let me just build on that, right? At the time they built University of Nsukka, there was no Abuja. There was no Abuja as a city then.
But there was a capital which is Lagos.
In Lagos.
Yes.
There was already University of Lagos.
Okay.
There was also University of what's it called? Ibadan. All the major cities already sort of had their schools. Kaduna had ABU Zaria.
Okay. So which came first? UNN are amongst the high.
Ibadan came first.
Okay.
And then I think Zaria followed. Then Lagos.
Is Lagos not a second generation university?
No, Lagos was 1962. 1960 with Professor N. Njok as first vice chancellor.
And Nsukka came earlier.
I think 64.
64.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Okay.
If I remember, I think it was 4 or 5. We all have that unique. But where I'm going is this. It happened because it had to happen. There was no other, apart from Nsukka, there was no other big school in the East back then, right?
Okay.
It was Lagos, Ibadan, and then Zaria. So the East also wanted one to balance its own. I mean, apart from the name, it's not as if that is the federal government's own university. And apart from the name, it's just another school under the Federal Ministry of Education.
Exactly.
Now,
yes,
bringing it home to the matter of the city,
yes,
Central Bank of Nigeria, not Central Bank of Abuja, it can be localized anywhere. That's where I'm going.
Okay.
It should be localized where the need is highest, the most. In Nsukka, then there was no school in the East, so they had to have one in Nsukka. Only that they call University of Nigeria. All right. But Central Bank of Nigeria, not Central Bank of Abuja. It can be local. It should be put where it will be most efficient. And in any case, the CBN has not been moved. Only key departments, like 3 departments, have been moved. And I know people who work on CBN in Abuja that fly to Lagos that they came to regulate banks. And that's the core of their work. Is that not so? The stock exchange, what is stock exchange? It's in Lagos. The banks are in Lagos. Bank headquarters are in, if it was economically more valuable, the banks would have moved their headquarters to Abuja, but they don't do
But the truth of the matter here, just like you did say, if we continue to localize things and bring them to where the needs are, then it's obvious for us to possibly take the Ministry of Trade and Industry to Onitsha, or take the Ministry of Petroleum Resources to the south region of Nigeria.
All along.
But but the question is, should that be a priority? Well, I think it's very important for us to understand the need for priority, the scale of preference in all of these things. So the most important thing is to get the job done, wherever it is.
No. There are certain things that are known as administrative anomalies.
Okay.
That can be corrected with time. You see, the thing is this. When we talk about fiscal federalism, the NLNG had its headquarters in Lagos, but they moved it away. the locals can be proud of the fact that this is in our locality. It will create jobs for them. Federal government spends more. I told you that see when people come to Lagos to come and regulate banks, you're spending money on flights, all right, hotel accommodation, etc. You can save that money for better purposes.
But can't we have a department? Can't we
Lagos,
create
right?
such department also in Lagos, while the center still is still domiciled in Abuja?
Now, I'm glad to tell you that that's what the CBN has actually done.
Do you really think that is what is happening?
The governor of the CBN is in Abuja. He's not coming to Lagos. But those governors, that you see, so when people are fighting this thing, we need to ask. I told you earlier that though experts were speaking, their voice were not heard. It was the political elite in the north that were shouting the most. What phenomenon was that those departments should now be in Lagos, but the CBN is still in Abuja. It is fine that they said the whole of us should come back to Lagos. But for CBN, only those departments should come back to Lagos. To come to Lagos, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. These people who are fighting and shouting and just, they are saying, if you took it away from, if you went now, this is even the other, if you went to Abuja, when you went to CBN, you want to count by state, how many people are working in the CBN Abuja by states? You may find out that more than half of them are from the north.
Okay.
Is that proper? Is that right? How many people from, let's say, Fuga in Edo State are working in the presidency? How many people from, let's say, Okereko in Delta are working in FAN? How many people in, let's say, I'm trying to pick some very small, how many people in, let's say, Oyorokoto in River State? I'm sure you've never heard of that village before, Oyorokoto. How many people in Oyorokoto in River State are working at NNPC in Abuja? So those people who are in villages where the product is based, or how many people from Onitsha in Anambra State are working at the Ministry of Trade and Commerce? You see, the thing is this: when those who are born into a culture or they want also money and running that place, there's more efficiency. The know-how is deepened. But when it is not there, you bring somebody who probably just has a diploma in, let's say, in their villages, and say because he's from Kano or he's from Lagos or he's from Ogun, maybe his own he coming to that work because he's a sort of a senator. He's not going to do that job. Is that not what led to a lot of key nurses in Nigeria closing down? In Port Harcourt, they brought somebody who read IRS to come and man the place. So, but he was telling them that it was cheaper to rent a crane than to buy one. Why would the place go down?
So the question now is, why isn't the president in his wisdom, why isn't it possible for him to equally decentralize the port? So we can have a Calabar on there, Port Harcourt,
yes.
Right? So that we can have a uniform distribution of that sector. So why have we suddenly gone blind and deaf to the fact that Lagos port shouldn't be the only port in Nigeria? So why are we not applying the same rule to that? This
is the point now. So arguably, on a scale of preference, opening up the ports may be more economically profitable than relocating CBN departments to Lagos.
Good.
Especially at the time when the world has gone digital, like when anybody come from anywhere. That's understandable. I buy that argument. But let's just say that in a manner of speaking and indulging probability, it is possible that this is just a matter of let's test this, let's begin from here, let's test this. Even if Tinubu didn't do anything more. Yeah, I mean you can see the backlash. How much more can he push? So he has done this month, but the president will now come tomorrow who say that based on what happened on that we want to do more than, so we want to now. I think that
must we wait for another president to come to do what is important?
That Tinubu even did it. That Tinubu even someone the courage to do it. I mean, other president in Buhari's 80s, what did he do? He ran the most inglorious government in the history of Nigeria. Corrupt, inept, incompetent, nepotistic, barbaristic, primitive government that were run in Nigeria. A president who didn't know and didn't care to know that Nigeria could be on autopilot for 8 years was a miracle that we didn't collapse. So Tinubu coming, I mean, he will not be doing all the right things, but the fact that he's aware and he's conscious of what he's doing is a measure of what we can tolerate. If Tinubu is able to only do so far as to say CBN, part of CBN, go to Lagos, fine, go back to Lagos, let's begin from there. Hopefully another president comes who someone has the courage to be able to do more than what Tinubu has done. It looks like a drop in the ocean. Not for me alone, but Port will come back to life, Calabar Port will come back to life, or we'll do a lot on what it is. Warren Port, all these ports must come so that we can decongest Lagos and make the whole thing even and spread it to be more than it is now. But the president has only begun. Then NNPC, things like NNPC should either go to Efo or go to River State or even Akwa Ibom, So Bayelsa, I think it should be more like Bayelsa. You go to Bayelsa or Goniland. There are many of them. That shouldn't be in Abuja. NPA, what is NPA? What is in Abuja? Ship house. Is there water near that place? So I want to create a refractory. It's a joke. We are for a long time. When they were pushing us to Abuja, didn't they think that it was wrong? It means that those who took place in Abuja wanted advantage for the north at the expense of Nigeria.
So let's look at national security in our country. I want to believe that the reason why the National Youth Service Corps was created after the Nigerian Biafran Civil War was to better unify our country. So the people who did not know about a particular region would have the opportunity of visiting those places. Let's have intermarriages, let's have communication, and let's see ourselves as one. And since then, it has been this little bit of contribution between one region to another. Now, don't you think that what we are currently doing in trying to fragment ministries into different places because they are the most demand-driven places is killing the real reason why the need to unify us is of essence?
No. So this is the issue. Unity at the expense of identity is no longer unity. That's coercion. And it's not working. You can say it's not working. Because those who have the power at the center will grab everything for themselves. Nobody thought of that downside to it. We all thought that everything being together in one place, all of us will gravitate and be equal. It's not possible. We will not become equal participants. In fact, what we've now done is that few who have access are taking everything over for themselves. When Abbasman Bolo was running the Western region, there were doing a lot of cocoa in the West.
Exactly.
He didn't build cocoa house in Lagos. Lagos was the capital.
Oh.
He built it where cocoa was being. Nigeria runs on very false logic. Why didn't he build cocoa house in Lagos? He built it in Ibadan where it was. Yes, the hub. And if we had continued on that path by today, you would have been surprised. You see, people grew up planting cocoa. Their children grew up on cocoa farms. They can work in cocoa house as and you studied medicine or studied law. Yes. So you start, even if you studied business administration, you would have done research on cocoa. All right. So you are contributing more to the yes. That's how it's done. It's not this one that you. So since we moved out to Abuja, they tell me. How many people from Port Harcourt have had access? How many people from the Delta have had? How many people from Lagos have had equal access with those who are? It's not working.
So finally, I'd love to ask you this: what do you make of this? If, let's say, for example, Shetima assumes the seat of governance after Tinubu's administration and decides to move it back to Abuja, don't you think that is equally this give and take of what importance is that to nationhood?
So we know that a section, not all the North, a section of the North are provincial. And I think they're everywhere. A part of Igbo is provincial. A part of the Southwest here are provincial. When I mean provincial, they are provincialists. They are provincialists. So they think province, they think about our interest. What we call Awani, us. But there are also centrists who think the center. Centrism. people think of the larger whole. So it will be, we want to see, if Shettima is a centrist, I don't think he'll be bothered about what is. Shettima himself, you know, he was a banker in Zenith Bank.
Yeah, true.
He was a banker in Zenith Bank. He was and not he was not a banker of small stature. He was a banker, so he knows what is happening. So to that, if he now came and said no, he will shift back to Abuja, it's up to him as president. But for now that something good is being done, let's leave it to be done.
All right, let's leave it to be done, just like Mr. Cyril did say. That's just about the time we have for our main conversation today. I'd love to say my thank you to Mr. Cyril Abaku for always making our time to be on our conversation on Enterprise TV today. And for you watching, we'd love to say thank you so very much also for giving us your time. Please do follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7 and also visit our website at www.enterprisetv7, enterprisetvnews.com rather. I am Henry Igwe. I'll see you tomorrow for yet another awesome time. Thank you for watching.